Hello, and welcome to the channel, Bible Reflections, Ancient Truth, Living Hope. Have you ever felt like life is just one unfair blow after another? Betrayed, forgotten, and everything seems to be going wrong. Today, we're diving into one of the most powerful stories in the Bible, a story of a young man who faced all that and more, yet his faith never wavered. This is the incredible journey of Joseph from the book of Genesis. It all starts in Genesis chapter 37. Joseph was the favorite son of his father, Jacob, who gave him a beautiful coat of many colors. This favoritism, along with Joseph's dreams of his family bowing down to him, sparked intense jealousy in his 10 older brothers. One day, their jealousy boiled over. They stripped him of his coat, threw him into a pit, and then sold him into slavery to traders heading to Egypt. To cover their tracks, they dipped his coat in goat's blood and told their father a wild animal had killed him. Jacob was heartbroken, believing his beloved son was dead. He tore his clothes, put sackcloth on his waist, and mourned for days. In Egypt, Joseph was sold to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh. Genesis 39 tells us, the Lord was with Joseph, and he was a successful man. God blessed him, and he found favor in Potiphar's eyes, who put him in charge of his entire household. But trouble found him again. Potiphar's wife tried to seduce him, and when Joseph refused and fled, leaving his garment in her hand, she falsely accused him. Joseph, completely innocent, was thrown into prison. Even in prison, the Lord was with him. He showed him mercy and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. Just as before, Joseph was soon put in charge of all the other prisoners. While there, he interpreted the dreams of 2 of Pharaoh's servants, the chief butler and the baker. His interpretations came true, but the butler, who was restored to his position, completely forgot to mention Joseph to Pharaoh for 2 whole years. Then, in Genesis chapter 41, Pharaoh himself had 2 disturbing dreams that no one in Egypt could interpret. The butler finally remembered Joseph. Brought before Pharaoh, Joseph gave all the credit to God and perfectly interpreted the dreams, foretelling 7 years of great plenty, followed by 7 years of devastating famine. He then advised Pharaoh on how to prepare. Pharaoh was so impressed that he made Joseph the second most powerful man in all of Egypt, saying, "Can we find such a one as this, a man in whom is the Spirit of God?" Joseph's wisdom saved Egypt and the surrounding lands from starvation. And this is where the story comes full circle. The famine forced Joseph's own brothers to travel to Egypt to buy grain. They came and bowed down before him, not recognizing the powerful ruler as the little brother they had sold into slavery so many years ago. After a series of tests to see if their hearts had changed, Joseph finally revealed himself in one of the most emotional scenes in the Bible. He wept and said in Genesis 45, verse 5, "Do not be distressed or angry with yourselves because you sold me here. For God sent me before you to preserve life." What an incredible perspective. Joseph didn't see bitterness or revenge. He saw God's sovereign plan. He saw that all the betrayal, slavery, and imprisonment were part of God's greater purpose, to save his family and many others. This story beautifully points to Jesus. Like Joseph, Jesus was the beloved son, betrayed by his own people, sold for pieces of silver, and falsely accused, and he suffered unjustly. Yet through his suffering and sacrifice, he provided salvation for the entire world. Joseph's life teaches us that even in our darkest moments, when we feel abandoned and unfairly treated, God is still with us. He is weaving a bigger story, one we might not understand at the time. What others mean for evil, God can turn for good. Joseph's faithfulness in the pit, in slavery, and in prison prepared him for the palace. Let his story encourage you to trust God's plan, even when it's painful, knowing He is working all things together for your good and His glory. If this story has inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that dives deep into the Word of God. This story is from the Bible. You can read the full story in the book of Genesis, chapters 37-50. Thanks for watching.